I love how they still try and add an element of mystery. Like, only one thing remains is why would they dispose of a sex puppet in this manner? We will get to the bottom of this. It's a pervert. There you go. There's a choose your own path.
Yes.
What does this sex puppet do to you? He just didn't want his mom to find it.
I know.
I can picture them interrogating it. Like, sex puppet. Were you cheating? It doesn't get any better with this next one, but this just shows you that America's last bastion of hope. In Germany, police, they made what they thought was a pretty grisly discovery. Don't worry, it's okay. In Rostock, Germany, there's a twist.
Der Notruf ging am Samstagabend gegen 19 Uhr bei der Polizei in Rostock ein. Ein Spaziergänger meldet einen verdächtigen Müllbeutel. Er glaubt, eine verweste Hand darin gesehen zu haben. Es folgt ein Großaufgebot der Polizei. Spurensicherung, Gerichtsmedizin und auch die Feuerwehr ist vor Ort, um beim Ausleuchten zu helfen.
Okay.
Sogar eine Drohne kommt zum Einsatz. Doch erst nach 5 Stunden die große Überraschung. Im Müllbeutel ist keine Leiche, sondern eine Sexpuppe.
Pause. Pause. The people listening on audio, yes, you heard correctly. It turned out that the murder victim that was found turned out to be a sex doll after a 5-hour investigation. Jeez. But here's what's most interesting.
Say it right.
Most interesting. A sex pulpit. Because, there's often some crossover with English, French, or Spanish, like coffee is cafe, right?
Right.
Almost none with German, except for sex puppet.
Sex puppet, which of course is German for Pinocchio.
What must that sex puppet have done to deserve this treatment? Look at that.
His nose wouldn't grow.
That's the last time I ever do this with you. Sets it on fire.
Nothing else crosses. There's no crossover between German and English.
No.
Except sex pulpit.
Sex puppet.
All right, sorry. Can we play? I just want to hear it again. And they take it so seriously.
Okay. Rewind it a little bit. There we go.
Sondern eine Sexpuppe.
Klinischen Tatortarbeit, so will ich es mal nennen, liegt auch der große zeitliche Aufwand. Und in solchen Fällen ist es eben wichtig, dass man sich genug Zeit nimmt und in Ruhe vorgeht. Zumal man hier auch davon ausgehen musste, dass es hier auch keine lebendige Person ist, die ärztlicher Hilfe bedurfte.
Ärztliche Hilfe brauchten die Einsatzkräfte in diesem Fall nicht. Die Ermittlungen wurden eingestellt. Und auch ein schon angeforderter Bestatter wurde abbestellt. Nur eine Sache bleibt noch zu klären. Warum niemand eine Sexpuppe auf diese Art und Weise entsorgt.
I love how they still try and add an element of mystery. Like, only one thing remains is why would they dispose of a sex puppet in this manner? We will get to the bottom of this. It's a pervert. There you go. There's a choose your own path.
Yes.
What does this sex puppet do to you? He just didn't want his mom to find it.
I know.
I can picture them interrogating it. Like, sex puppet. Were you cheating? It's a silly place, and we should take nothing that they say or do seriously, not only because of the historical timeline of Germany, if you're a history buff, but even today, they can't get it right. More proof, the Rostock police, they nicknamed the doll Selena. 'Cause I'm dreaming.
Come on. She's a Latin icon. Come on.
What, that doll can't like Selena? Come on. It's fine.
And it went missing overnight. Yeah, it's not in the evidence locker.
I will take this home for further investigation.
You're going to want to swab that.
I hope I cleaned it.
Police chief's like, they're onto me.
I will solve this case, or my name is not even the Kackesschnickwick. By the way, this is the sixth reported sex puppet that was confused for a murder victim in Germany. Shouldn't they have a protocol?
Yeah.
Like after the first 2 or 3, like the first question when they show up looking like the third act of E.T.
Yes.
Should be the police chief like, okay, now first to save everyone's time, is this a sex puppet?
Is this like the Zodiac killer of sex puppets? He's sending letters to the media.
No, I'm picturing that scene as 2 sex puppets having a picnic by the San Francisco Bay. They're there. The sex puppets, blissfully unaware of what awaits them. Me,
Gosh.
And
It's not exclusively a German problem either.
Really?
Which is disturbing. Yeah, because I was hanging out on the railroad tracks earlier.
What?
Yeah, I was hanging on the railroad tracks and I found this.
that's terrible. Wait, what were you doing in the bushes, though?
Look,
Yeah, but why were you in the bushes?
Gerald C. I hang out there sometimes.
Well,
Another survival guy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out there hanging out.
You know what? Earlier I pulled up some of the footage
Oh, no.
and I put it in the system.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was you all along.
Well.
By the
What
way,
do you have to say to Gerald C?
yeah.
what are you doing here?
The sex puppet came back the very next day.
Should have burned it, Gerald.
And here's the thing.
That was part of the protocol.
This is funny, and I know if you're watching, you're older. This is actually a real. That's why they're finding more and more sex. You need to understand this has become a huge industry because of. Yeah, you can trace it back to feminism because of male-female dynamics, where a lot of men, young men, are checking out of the dating pool. 44% of Generation Z males, if they're teen, they've never dated. According to a study in 2023, 63% of men aged 18 to 29 are single. And 10% of men between the ages of 22 and 34 have never had any type of sexual relations, which is, by the way, the highest ever. And the global...
It would be good if it was an abstinence choice of waiting for marriage. It's probably not driven by that.
And then on the flip side of that, the global sex doll market is set to increase from $3 billion to $10 billion by the year 2030.
Wow. I think that's just improvements in technology.
It is improvements in technology. Well, the thing is, people will say, do we have a pornification of culture? Sure. Yeah, absolutely we do.
Yeah.
But a lot of young men, it's not worth the risk. I mean, for example, you use like Harry Sisson, who I get it. We're not fans of him. He's a Democrat activist and he's a moron. But I will say this, he was consensually sexting women. And then that was used against him as though he was a predator. And a lot of men are going, unless I happen to meet the woman who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, anything consensual can be used against me. And so now with the innovations in AI, and I would imagine textiles, I'm just going to go with a sex puppet.
Pretty soon they're going to have... These sex puppets are like really good in detail.
That's what I understand.
Pretty soon they're going to have like anatomy, so these people, these murderers, can go cut them up and dispose of them and still get the same feeling.
I would imagine that's probably makes them feel godlike, as I understand it.
I don't know.
It's a healthy outlet, I guess.
Read the Green River Killer's book. I don't know.
Let me ask you this: what's the weirdest thing you've ever found in public?
Not a sex puppet.
No, definitely. Well, no.
I did have a waiter at a restaurant, and I told you this story. We both know the restaurant has a side gig as a sex puppet salesperson and does, I guess, very well with it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's incredibly scary that person is serving me.
He's so good, he's a waiter.
Yes, exactly. He's just getting started.
Which is kind of surprising. I would imagine that's the easiest job in the world. They basically sell themselves.
I mean, you're just a fulfillment guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. I bet you watch. There's going to be some new direct order sex puppet, a disruptor in the industry. Like, cut out the middleman. It's a sex puppet in a box.
Weirdest thing I ever found in public was an Afghan guy masturbating in a porta potty.
Oh, I found that too at a gas station in Manhattan.
Did he stop? Yeah. Because this guy didn't stop.
No, he looked me in the eyes.
We need a palate cleanse. How about this? Easter is coming up. Thank God.
Nice segue, Gerald.
What do TikTok nurses, COVID lockdowns, and lesbian school teachers have in common? None of them will be included in this next video if you click it. It's the internet. It's a cruel, dark place. I can't promise you the world, but today I can offer you that. And isn't that a step in the right direction?